Hello, Solar Loon here. How's everybody doing today? But yes, hello indeed. There we go. Solar Loon here. I'm an independent game developer and musician and artist and stuff. And I am the developer of MasterPlan, which is a project planning software made by myself, basically. It is a tool specifically for, there's a lot of people who can use it, but it's made primarily for independent game developers because that's something that I saw was missing, basically. And so that's why I decided to make it. And so that's what we're going to be working on today. But first, hello everyone in the chat. How is everyone doing today? Glad to be alive here, May 21st. Yeah, I made quite a few changes, or not quite a few, but I made some changes to basically how MasterPlan works. Now, when things are selected, they flash a little bit. They flash a little bit too brightly, actually. Let me fix that real quick. Let me go over to the card. Let me delete the other, or close the other tabs here. And when selected, here we go. We just don't want it to be that like bright, to be flashing that brightly. Yeah, should be good. But yeah, hello everybody in chat. Everyone's saying hello. Countdown hype indeed. What in the world? Let's see. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so it's flashing, but just not quite as brightly. Maybe this is actually fine. Like we want it to be obvious, but just not as eye blinding as it was. But yeah, basically, we've made a few changes. Yeah, this is so bright. Okay, let's go back to, let's try 24. Maybe 24 would be good. But essentially, MasterPlan is a tool for like productivity, and a tool for also, let me change the theme back. Sorry, to people who are watching at night. I just blinded you, so I apologize there. There we go. But yeah, it's a tool made for productivity and stuff, and so basically, you can make little things and you move them around, and you can complete them and stuff. It's a really useful tool, in my opinion, and it's getting better. And this is what I'm working on, is making it better. So when checkboxes are checked, they should be changing color. They are no longer changing color, which is weird. Let's. Oh, that's why. Okay, I think the color is missing in the theme. Let me fix that. Color, the checkbox color. No, it's not. Why is the completed color not being used? Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay. That's why. Okay. This is an issue that we will have to resolve. Essentially, it's supposed to change color, but it's not possible for it to change color with the way that the code works because, yeah, it's only changing the, like recreating the entire card when something changes. The size, basically. So we need to figure out how we can best handle that. But yeah, checkboxes can be checked, and when they do, they change color. This is the checked color. This is the unchecked color. Notes are this color. As an example, you can type in them freely. I did not type the letter R specifically because R is restarting the R basically just restarts the entire thing here. Font looks like garbage. I know the text looks a little trashy. I'm still trying to work it out. It doesn't quite blend to my liking when it's like the blended mode, and this is the solid mode, which is just kind of like janky. It's a little janky. But anyway, this is okay. This is okay for now. Novice Art says, how do you compare this to the old master plan? This is still extremely prototype. It's not at all usable. it's still missing like 90% of what MasterPlan could do originally, but the fundamentals are still really good. You can select tasks, multiple tasks at a time now with the like click and drag. You can hold shift, you can hold alt. So that all works pretty well. So that's good. Yeah, like there's not really any problems there. What I'd like to do is, yeah, what I'd like to do is basically try to do something to get the visibility of this stuff up a little higher. It's a little hard to see when something is selected or not. Maybe it just shouldn't flash as much, but it should kind of have a higher baseline. And then also we need to fix that issue, whoops, over here, where checking things off doesn't actually update the color immediately. And there's a couple ways to fix that, but we still have to figure it out. But so far, this is pretty good. I would rate this fundamentally. I like this a lot more than the original MasterPlan, and the original MasterPlan was great. I think it's a fantastic tool. I highly recommend it for people who struggle with productivity issues or struggle with motivation issues. It's a great tool, but I feel like this is just a far and away improved version. It just needs some time in the oven. It needs a lot of time in the oven. But once it gets there, it'll be a fantastic tool. Yeah, so let's see. Let me get some music going here, so we're not just sitting in silence. Just give me... It's a little loud, I believe. Let me see. Oh, it's silent. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Fashion Killer says this looks so practical. It seems so practical. Yeah, that's the goal. Is it should be practical. It should work really well. It should be solid. And I like how solid it feels. It feels like it's a chunky tool. It feels like it works. It feels just very much like you can kind of easily do stuff with it and, you know, kind of repurpose. You know, you can just do stuff with it. It doesn't feel, it's not perfect, but it definitely feels solid. Oh yeah, and clicking to like select stuff is better now as well. Clicking to select text. Yeah, not perfect again, but still pretty solid. So yeah, there's a couple things I want to do. Let's see. Zyodic says hello. Like the new resize feature. Hello, thank you very much. Well appreciated. And also, yeah, you can delete them easily. So let's do a couple things here. First things first, we want to make it so that cards are easier to see when selected. Which should be here. Let's say they start with a base of 20 points, 20 out of 256 brighter, and it just shines maybe over 20, over 15. So it should be easier to see at a base that something is selected. Let's try maybe 30. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Also, this is pretty minor, but tasks, or well, now they're called cards, but now cards have a very minor color variation, so you can kind of see like all these notes are a very slightly different shade of green, just very slight, just to make it kind of easier to see. You know, where one starts and where one ends. Layering is fixed as well now. In the previous version, layering didn't work correctly. Now it does. So it's not possible to like click this one through this card. That this actually works correctly now, which is nice. So you can layer stuff pretty easily. Click and drag works as it should. Yeah. Oh, it raised this one because I clicked on it. Yeah, okay. So we probably don't want to raise when we're dragging. We just want to raise when selected. Okay, got it. Novice says, if you have multiple cards, could you do something like control click and it lets you pick from a menu what you want to see? I think Blender does something similar. So you mean like when you click, when you control click, it shows you a menu, and in that menu you can select which of the cards you want to select. That could work. I think I want to avoid menus if possible, and shortcuts. I'm trying to see what would be a good solution for this. So let's say you have these all selected and you want to select one specifically. So you control click, or maybe you could control scroll wheel and it basically cycles through. That might be an idea. That's an idea. We'll have to come back to that. Let me write that down. Where's the to-do list at? Cycle selected parts. Okay. Something we'll have to do about this. But yeah, copying and pasting. Text cards as text, another card type. That's gonna be further down. Okay. This is an idea. Okay. So the issue, wait, Doug says, hi mate, I bought it today because the mind map software I use stopped working and I think you're doing a great job on this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to hear it. Hopefully it'll turn out really well. I think it's already been, it's been some time. It's been available on like itch.io and Steam. It's been available on Steam since January of this year, and it's been on itch, I think, since January of last year. So it's been out for a while, MasterPlan, but it's steadily gotten better, and this new update is looking to just be clean as heck. So I am pretty excited. It's looking pretty solid. Yeah, so the next thing we need to do is basically figure out how to fix this issue that just popped up, where the color only changes when we resize it. And the reason why is because it's only building the card when the size changes, which is fine. That's the only time that the card actually needs to be rebuilt, but the color needs to change dynamically. So if we go to card, we go to, let's see, update card resizing. Rashad Z says, I'm planning on migrating from Milanote to MasterPlan once I get my funds in order and run out of card space. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's always like fun and weird, a little weird to hear someone say like, oh, I'm going from like this software to my software, because it's like, I mean, that means I'm doing a great job, but it's just kind of surprising that it's like, oh yeah, you know, someone else finds it not just valuable as a tool that, you know, does something for them that they aren't currently getting done, but rather it's better than an existing tool to that person, or they see more promise in it, or they want to support development, whatever. It's just like, it's very encouraging. So thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so yeah, the problem, this is it, the problem. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how we want the color to actually like work. We don't want to just modulate the card texture. What internally it's rendering the part that's not text, which is this, and not this little checkbox. It's rendering that to a texture and then drawing the texture to the screen, right? We don't want to like modulate the color of that because we might want to have different outline colors, or at least we do want different outline colors. If you have a, for example, in the sunlight theme, the outline is light, or I'm sorry, the outline is, yeah, the outline is light. I believe it's like a light color, like white, because the text is also white. So I don't think the problem is there. I think that it's fine that we want to draw the texture. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this, because we can't say that the outline is always going to be black. It might be different colors sometimes. And the inside isn't always going to be a fixed color either. What we want to do is maybe have two different textures, one for the outline and one for the inside. But that feels unnecessary. I guess another option is to recreate the card whenever you do something like this, where you change something that causes the color to change, then we recreate the card. That seems unnecessary. That's a lot of texture recreations for things that don't need to be texture recreations. Let's try this. I guess I can do theme color. No. That was weird. My internet dropped, or OBS dropped, something. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. We're gonna say if card.contents nil, then color equals card.contents color, card.result dot set color mod. All right, so there's gonna be something like this. We don't need this anymore. There, okay. So let's try that. When we recreate, we no longer actually set the color. Okay. What was that project? Texture set color mod. All right. So, yeah, good. All right, we're good. Okay, I guess we don't actually do this. We just say tune it to 5 minutes up. All right, so this should be pretty good. Let's try this. All right, we'll go with this for now. All right, that's pretty good. Let's fix the text back. It's not very good. We can fix it just by using UTF-8 blended instead of UTF-8 solid. Looks a little better. Okay. Cool. Novice Art says, yeah, it cycles through and shows the current card like a card game, showing you the current card in your hand to select. That is an idea. That is an idea. Yeah, that's why I was, yeah, exactly. So you can cycle through. That's an idea. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, that's the idea that I proposed at least. I'm not sure if I'm going to go through with it, but I might. Also, I was working on, or thinking about, I was doing more thinking on tabs. I remember that we had this discussion. Oh, Music Boy, J-Boy says, yo, hello. I remember that we had this discussion and people were saying like, oh, don't remove tabs. Other people were like, oh, I'm excited for, having the changes. And I think that the appeal of tabs is that you always have like, at a glance, at a reach, you always have the ability to get to a tab, right? So it's always there. But the downside is that there's no real like link between things. There's no real link between concepts, between elements of your board, or of your project. That's really what I don't like about tabs. And so if we pull up MasterPlan, if it loads, there it goes. If we also fix this scaling, there we go. So it's like, okay, here's a board, for example. Let's say this board is like, we're making a, medieval town, right? I forgot how to spell medieval for a little bit. And so let's say we have some tasks, right? So we're like, oh, we have to create the moat, or we have to draw the moat. We have to go ahead and like, create the wall, or I guess build the wall, etc., etc., right? And then you have another town, or with its own information. This is the cave, cave dungeon. It's weird. Why did space? Okay. So you have a cave dungeon and there's stuff, and then you have another town. Let's say this is the mountain city. The problem is that these are just kind of like hanging out, right? Like there's no real link between these boards. This dungeon might be inside the medieval town. The town might be inside of the dungeon. The mountain city might be past the cave dungeon. You don't really have that kind of context. They're just all tabs, basically. And that's kind of how they're presented here in this mock-up, where at the top you have tabs, and you could theoretically rearrange them, but they're just tabs. What I was thinking about is basically blending the what I was thinking about previously was basically making folder cards like Novice Arts says. It makes sense contextually, where you can have a folder card, you can put stuff in it, you can open it up and put stuff in it. But the upside is that it's somewhere on your board, so you can like easily put cards kind of together, where you can be like, okay, these cards for my dungeons are together, these cards for maybe one city is together, so like it's visuals, the visual design, the plot surrounding the city, the story, the lore, all that stuff goes together in one place. But the downside is that with this system, it's not very easy to get to locations in your project, in your plan, because it's like, okay, well, in order for me to get to, for example, from one, 3 levels deep in one town to 3 levels deep in another town, I have to go up, 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 go to that town, click it, click it, click it, right? Something like that. So that's no good. That's not great. So I was thinking that a better solution might be kind of to mix the two and do what I guess Notion does. I think Notion does it, where it's like on the left-hand side, or in this case might be on the right-hand side, you have a pane that basically has like a hierarchical view of your project, something like this, where you have folders. Each folder can contain other folders or pages, and then what you're editing is the page. So you can have, for example, you can say, okay, here's my medieval town, and then you have the plot, you have the lore, we'll say, you have the visual inspiration, you have maybe the character designs, like outfits, architectural design, and then in that you might have a dungeon folder, and in that is the stuff for the dungeon. And then you can easily just click and drag to move stuff around. That feels like a good middle ground. Yeah, a tree view. It wouldn't necessarily need to be a card, because Not everything needs to be a card, but the idea, I think, is solid enough to warrant implementing it. I think that it could work really well. It would look something like this, basically. Just as a quick mock-up. One, or we'll say folder. So it would look something like this. And then you have like page A. So this is the core idea. And so you have the ability to move these things around. You have the ability to rearrange them. And then the end result is basically what tabs or what boards currently do for MasterPlan, but even better because they have context, but they don't actually have to be seen on screen for you to get in there. And then we could also make it so that maybe if you hover over it, it gives you like a nice little like mini map view of it or something like that. That's an idea. Novice Art says with folder cards you can still have tab names. Rashad Z says, is the SDL1 version and SDL2 versions of MasterPlan going to be separate applications for people to download, or will the newest one overwrite the older one? The newest one is going to overwrite the older one. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to maintain them as two different downloads. This needs to be the advanced version of MasterPlan. This needs to be the forward direction of MasterPlan. If I have to maintain two different downloads or two different, because I mean, you know, you'll inevitably have someone say like, oh, I prefer the older one, which is fine. But then they'll say like, oh, you know, it'd be nice if I could have this new feature, and maybe that's only in the new version of MasterPlan, and now I have to maybe like, you know, add fixes to the old version of MasterPlan, and it's just like, it doesn't make sense for me to split myself too thin. It makes more sense to basically just have this fundamental growth of the program, and this is the direction it's going in. So far, no one has really had any complaints about it. I appreciate people saying like, you know, maybe you could have both versions, or maybe you could make it available to people. But I feel like if I allow people to choose, some people will choose the older version just because that's what they prefer, and that's going to kind of bite me in the butt when it comes to people like asking for fixes, or, you know, maybe security issues that come up with data or something like that, where it's like, oh hey, everyone needs to update to the next version of MasterPlan because of some, you know, something I don't envision happening. It's easier to do that when everyone has one version. So I'll try to just actually in answer to Rashad Z's question, I didn't notice this, but the past version of MasterPlan wasn't written in SDL. It was written with Raylib. The current version is written with SDL2. So there is no SDL1 version of MasterPlan for that specifically. But in answer to your question, you know, etc., etc. Long-time support version. I don't want to have. Yeah, I don't want to have to do a long-term support version of MasterPlan. It feels unnecessary. It feels like it's easier to just move forward with the nice solid pace of continuing. Conifer says, hey Solar, hope you're doing good. Thank you. Came here for the chills. Dabbing emoji. Hello. Lucretia says MasterPlan will always be on GitHub, so maybe just leave a tag there so people can build from that version. I'm going to delete the GitHub repository that I currently have, so that no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I could do that, and I already have I believe 0.7 is tagged on GitHub. Let me double check, but yeah, that'll always be there as far as I know. Like, you know, that there will always be the current 0.7.2. There will always be the current and previous versions of MasterPlan there. So if someone wants to build it themselves, they can do so. But it doesn't seem like it seems like it would be better to try to get everyone moving forward. And I think that this is a solid solution that basically covers people who want tabs or boards like the current incarnation, but people who also want something a little bit more with a little bit more depth to it. I feel like this is more depth. This is a better system that allows you to do more with it, while also not really like sacrificing anything. And it'll be collapsible. So you won't have to always look at it. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep moving. Lucretia says, I think the newer version is cooler looking as well, though. Yeah, I agree. I think that this does look cooler. It does look smoother. It does look simpler. It does look better overall. Okay, so you know what? I'm thinking. No. No. I was thinking about actually starting to implement this right now, but I lack context menu. I lack a context menu. So that'll probably be the first thing I do maybe next time, is make a context menu, if I haven't done so by then. I need a context menu. J-Boy says, is it okay if I ask a question? Of course. All right. So this should be working. And yeah, I can't type R because it restarts. So what we'll be doing, let me commit what I have. This could probably have a title of some description. Converse says, is that a mechanical keyboard I hear? That is correct. This is a Logitech K845. It is a full sized mechanical keyboard. Also, my camera frame rate is like 15 frames per second. I'm not sure why it's so low. It was fine, and then it seems like sometimes the video just It's a little jank. Yeah, it's a little choppy, whatever. Oh, sweet. Let's see. We have similar taste in keyboards. Yeah, it's a solid keyboard. Simple but very clean looking UI. Yo, thank you. Got the same keyboard on your desk. Oh snap! What are the odds? Yeah, this is. Did I like it? What? What is? That's weird. What is? Okay. That was weird. I couldn't click on anything. But yeah, this seems pretty solid. So if we are gonna have a context menu and it's gonna be able to be used over here, then that means that it's gonna need an outline of its own that's white. So I'll do this just to kind of give myself. Hopefully, I'll see this later. An idea that I've been thinking about and playing with. There we go. Is the idea that basically you could edit edit a picture like this, and that's how you change your theme. That's how you make themes, is not by basically editing a text document like this and just putting in numbers that range from 0 to 255, but rather by editing a picture and then you just draw you just like paint the colors that you want. Like it's definitely an interesting idea. It would be heck to implement once you start like adding new cards and stuff. But I feel like it could really work because that's something A, that no one's, as far as I know, has really done before. B, making a theme is a very visual task, so it makes sense to basically implement it as something that you can do visually. So, if you're making a theme with, like if you're making a theme, it makes sense to be able to see it rather than just changing numbers. The current incarnation of theme editing is fine. There's nothing wrong with typing in numbers because MasterPlan, if it reloads the themes regularly dynamically, then you can see the changes that you're making as you make them. But it would be even better if you could actually just like, if you had some sort of template that you could just like color, and it would just change the related panels and things automatically. That'd be an interesting idea. Haven't really seen it be done before, and I think that if it's done well, it could really work well. Let's see. Music Boy J Boy says, if you do have samples, is it okay if I have some of the samples you have? Yeah, you can use the samples I have. The ones I've been using a lot of recently have been from Key Archive, the Key Archive sample pack, which is found. This is very old, but the torrent, it's a, whoops. Actually, let me grab the one from, I'm trying to navigate to it. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, so this is a torrent to the samples I use, which is it's a large sample. The original site apparently went down, so I don't know where the samples came from. I just know that they're good for tracking music. And yeah, usually the samples I use are the Key Archive samples. I've been trying to use a lot more of like the synths and stuff in there, the hard synths and the kind of like the various like Casio or chord synths, going through those kind of synths rather than the dedicated like orchestral or strings or guitar or string instruments, whatever. Because I feel like that gives a very different feel to use a sample from a synth that's going for a guitar rather than using an actual guitar sample, right? Lion Barrel says, when I'm working on my game, my UI always looks so cluttered and not even in a cool way, just badly coupled together looking. I understand. It's hard to make a UI. It's definitely, that's why people do it for a living. I think this is pretty solid. It's very clean, and I think it works well, but I completely feel you how it's tough. It's tough to do good UI, especially for games. Conifer says he really wants to buy a mechanical keyboard, but it can be really noisy. Yeah, different switches are different in different volumes. These aren't very loud. It's not very loud. Some are louder than others. So you can kind of do a quick little bit of research. Brown, blue, and red are the switches that I think are usually in keyboards. Cherry, reds, browns, and blues, I believe. And they have different loudness factors. So you'll have to do some, Cherry is kind of like one of the bigger ones. There's other brands, and not everyone uses the big brands. Sometimes it's just like a knockoff brand like Gateron. Not, well, I don't know about it being a knockoff, but just not Cherry switches. Which one's loudest? Someone else can answer that. I don't know. I think brown is the quietest. I don't know though. Okay. So this is pretty good. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to commit this. That's what I was gonna do. We're gonna commit this. Actually, this is no longer gonna be called a board. This will now be called a page. Okay, that's it for that. Let's go back to the project. All right, so we should be relatively good here. Yeah, we should be relatively good. So we'll commit this. Joshua Confidant or Music Boy J Boy says, "Is that the samples?" That's the sample link. Yeah, it's the link to the sample pack that I use. Okay, so we are going pretty well. All right, we should be good. Let's see. Thanks a lot. No problem. Fixing. Let's see. Check. Editing. Global copy buffer. All right, I'm not gonna worry too much about the specifics. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing now, we're going to be adding a copy buffer. Well, the copy buffer already exists. We'll just be making it so that you can copy cards, which is going to be interesting because basically in order to do that we need a method to clone a card. So we'll make that now. There's a couple ways to do this. This is one. Actually, there's a couple ways to do this, and let's think about this a little bit. Now, the way I used to do this was a little bit sketchy. The way that I plan to do this now, it seems like it's better to just basically serialize the card data, make a new card, and then deserialize that card data. So let's do that. So I guess, yeah, it makes more sense to do project saving and loading, and then we can do copying. Does that make sense? That seems logical. Let's go for it. Okay, so let's do saving and loading, I suppose. Seems doable. All right, so we'll make a function for saving the project. You know what? Let's actually do this a couple ways. Update, draw, destroy. Let's put it under draw. So we have save. And then we have load. Okay. Joshua says this is going to take a while to download. Yeah, it's a pretty big pack. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm trying to see if we want to save and load to and from a string, or if we want to save and load directly to disk. No, there's no way. Because I was thinking like, oh, if I implement undo and redo, I could use the serialization to simply serialize and deserialize the project in its complete state, but that would take way too long because we're saving to string. Because we have to save to string at some point. It's got to go back to the disk, and it's going to be a JSON file, probably. So we can do it this way. Oh, I don't remember what I used. Was it Zinity? I believe it was Zinity. Save. Let's see. This won't work because go get github.com. This is okay. So we're gonna get Zinity, which is a package by Incrucis, apparently. That basically allows us to do file saving and loading. It allows us to open the dialog for file saving and loading. So like select file, save file selection dialog. Okay. So zinity.title. It's gonna be save project as save MasterPlan project. And it returns a string and an error. So we'll say file name. Is this if error is not equal to nil or is equal to nil. Okay. Then we will go to global shortcuts and say if you're in neutral, then program settings that key bindings on pv save project. Save project. Save. Okay. Save project. It's going to be Control S. Control S. Let's see more. So that's the default, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Alright, save project as. It's going to be Control Shift S. And then load is going to be O. Control O. Okay. So board. Okay. So we should be pretty solid, I think. All right, so when we go to project, we say if we save the project, then we say if project.file path is 9 nil, or blank rather. Let's save. Okay. Both files are now done downloading. Cool. All right. So this is actually save as. And then save is just going to be this. It's just going to basically take a string file path. And then we just are going to save here. Oops. Project.file path. File name. That's pretty much it. ED save as. EV open. Oh, that's load. All right. So this should give us at least a pretty solid start. Okay. Save. Okay, so save. And we also want to know what the file path is. All right, yep. Test something out. There we go. Cool. Now what we want to do, all right, so we're saving, save as. Okay, that's cool. Save as. Okay, that's cool. Save as. Okay, so we're setting the file path, we're calling save, and so this is where we're actually going to serialize our data. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we have to figure out how we're going to actually serialize this. So for now, each project is composed of pages. Each page has a card, and each card has contents, like notes or like a checkbox. So in order to do this, it seems like the easiest thing to do would be to just serialize the current contents. That might be good, because when you look at it from another perspective, let's see. Trying to find where is. Okay. So here you can see, like, okay, we have the board index. This is the previous version of MasterPlan. You have the which board a task is in, the position, whether the checkbox is checked, progression values, the description, whether it's selected, what task type it is, the creation and completion time. And so there's a lot of information here when really not all of it's relevant, right? Like, if it's a checkbox, then you don't need the progression, current, and maximum values. Yeah, so it seems like it might be wise to basically make it so that only the current contents are serialized and not everything. We'll see when we get to the point of undoing and redoing. We'll see. We'll see. So that's what we'll do. We'll say card serialize is going to take it to a string. Let's put it over here. Or here. Yeah, so serialize is going to take it to a string, right? And then deserialize, take it out of a string. Okay, so let's see. Take it out of string, actually. I'm a little warm, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Let me turn on my fan real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I'm back. Where's my... There we go. All right. Okay, so the idea here is to serialize the data into a string. So this is going to be the data that we pushed out, which is a string. And we can just say card.contents.serialize, right? Because the contents have to be able to serialize themselves. Serialize. Okay. Let's see, does this make sense? Conifer says it must be nice to have warm weather. Meanwhile, in the UK, it feels like we're being smacked with 4 seasons in one. Oh my gosh. Sorry to hear that. Definitely. Yeah, definitely sorry to hear that. It's, yeah, it's just a little warm in my room, in this room. It's probably like maybe 70 something. Yeah, maybe 74, 72. Not really warm. Fahrenheit, yeah, not Celsius. It's literally 200 degrees outside. No, I'm talking in Fahrenheit here. Let's see. Serialize is string, so we want to convert it to a string. All right. But what I'm thinking about here is basically when we get to the point of switching between contents, right? So you have a card, it's a checkbox, you switch it to a note card. The note has its own label, which means that when you switch, the label's going to change, right? Ideally, we don't want it to change. I'm not sure how to Well, something that comes to mind is basically rather than making the contents serialize and deserialize, we can basically make a place for content settings or properties. I guess that would be the better term. Properties on the card. So when you say, for example, oh, create a checkbox, it will create a label as necessary and put it in the properties, like dictionary. Then if you switch it from a checkbox to a note content type, then it will use the label that's already there so that you can switch between content types without having to refill everything out, because currently you don't have to do that in MasterPlan, the old version of MasterPlan, and it makes sense to not make you have to do that. Also, there we go. So like if you say something like this, testing something out, you can switch it from checkbox to progression or note, and it will stay there. Currently, if you switch here, if you were to switch here, it would basically be on. It wouldn't transfer. It wouldn't transfer. We want it to transfer. So the properties should be separated out. How did I get into this? I forgot. Serialization. But that was for copying and pasting parts. Okay. This. All right. So, okay. I think what we want to do then is make a properties struct type that we can use to request where's the contents? To request objects from. So if we say, oh, I need a checkbox, oh, I need a label, it will do that. We can request that. We can then update them, place them where we want. That might work. Then when you serialize the properties, we can serialize only the properties that are being used. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Okay. Okay. I know I've said okay like 3 times, but I'm still trying to convince myself that this is the way to go, because this requires. Because I mean, the alternative is when you serialize and deserialize the checkbox card, going from one card to another, the card values are going to change. It's going to say, for example, all the information you put in for a note card, when you switch it to a checkbox, it'll disappear. That's unacceptable. We need something in the middle. Okay. All right, this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and make a new file. This is gonna say properties. Let's see, package name, type properties, struct. Properties, card. Data, it's going to be a map, I suppose. Let's see. So what I need to be able to do, so this isn't going to have to serialize after all. So what I'm going to need to do is to serialize a checkbox in a card. When we go to serialize, it's going to basically, instead of serializing the contents, it's going to serialize the properties, deserialize the properties. Contents. hold on. Let me see something. Content type. No, where's this? Oh, content type. Okay. So if we want a what I'm struggling with or struggling through in my mind, if the checkbox contents requires a label, we need to be able to request from the properties, like, give me a label. How do we do that? We can obviously just store it in the properties data map and get it once we need it, but what if we need 2 labels? So we can register. Okay. Register? Yeah. All right. So we're going to register a property. Well, I guess we could just say register. We're going to register properties. So this... Oh. Let's just code ahead. Let's code straight ahead and see how it turns out. Because I'm thinking, I feel like pretty hard, and I don't feel like I'm getting really much of anything. Also, I kind of managed to cut myself somehow. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to card, we're going to create the properties. Properties. Expected expression is... So where, what? Expected expression. Oh, there we go. Okay. Name string. Type. Type. All right, so I'm thinking something like this, basically. Someone says, hey, in chat, I unfortunately cannot read Russian, so please forgive me as I go to Google Translate. Fedor? Is that correct? Fedor? Fedor? Hello. Minor cut. Let's see. Listen close. So, Fedor, okay. Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you, or nice to, thank you for coming by the stream. Well appreciated. Checkbox. Label. Oh no, this is as checkbox. Alright, so this should be good. This is now a map. Please. What's with your face? On a small viewport, it looks kind of strange. It's not the viewport. I have a skin condition called vitiligo. Basically, as time passes, my skin changes colors. I was born with the skin condition, yeah. So we don't need to serialize the contents anymore. That's not necessary because. Okay. Very interesting. It is definitely interesting. All right, so we should be able to kind of get where we're going here. Type data. All right, this should kind of get us where we're going here. Let's see. All right, so we should be roughly where we need to be. We're basically right where we were before, but now we should be kind of poised to kind of start serializing and deserializing, which is kind of key. We need to be able to do that at some point. So what we're going to do. Checkbox, new notes. When we say Control S, we're saving, right? And so once we decide to save, we need to then just walk it through. Okay, so save. All right, we can print these. This is fine for now. We can say for page and range project dot pages, page dot. I don't know if we want to serialize and deserialize the pages. That seems unnecessary. We could probably just do it for each individual. That's fine. Let's just do it. Let's see. So we go to page.go. Draw. Okay. Serialize. Cards. Serialize. I never made a oh, I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Bidord, I think, says, why is the price so high? It shouldn't be. It should be just 15 US dollars. I'm not sure if, as far as I know, it should be the equivalent for like the economy, the appropriate economy in different places. I don't tweak all of the prices manually. I just set them automatically. So is it particularly high? And for, if so, for what currency? Let's see. Wait, hold on. Okay, well, there's two issues here. One is if the dialogue cancels, then we shouldn't panic. Oh, so that's an error if it cancels. Okay, so I guess actually another way to do this would be yeah. There we go. No, I'm not sure why pressing S without control is making the save pop up. Definitely shouldn't be doing that. Yes, control S. Lucretia says, I have this idea. I'm literally making my website in 8-bit game. I don't know web dev. I'm just going to use Godot to make my website. Yeah, that seems like a way to do things because I kind of feel like web development is so like hard. I don't know. Everyone's, seems to do it. Everyone, is a lot of developers are making, websites and stuff. It's not hard to learn, but it's just I've never really like meshed with JavaScript or anything like HTML I can get with, but for like making websites, it's just like, bruh. Also, what is going on? Okay. $15 is a little high for the Russian economy, around 1,103 rubles. I will keep that in mind and see if I can do some price equivalency and see what would be a good price. Let's see. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript sucks. The typical languages for web dev feel so antiquated. Yeah, I kind of feel you. It feels like there should just be one language to make a website. It doesn't make sense that you have to learn like 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. Like, you have to learn like Angular, you gotta learn JavaScript, you gotta learn TypeScript, you gotta learn HTML, CSS. And it's just like, shouldn't there be just like one language? I mean, like, especially considering most websites are responsive in some way. Most websites require, front end, like, CSS. Like, if every website requires CSS and every website basically requires JavaScript nowadays, like, why not just combine them into one language? Like, why? Like, what's the purpose of having them be separate and segmented when, like, every modern website is going to require JavaScript or TypeScript, or I guess JavaScript generated by some other code, like Golang that got compiled down to JavaScript or whatever. So it's like, why not just make everything one language? Okay, let's see. So take project. Okay, so keep my control S. All right. Hmm. I don't understand. It's not, they're not both true, so why is it saying the key is pressed? Where's... Okay, well, we're gonna debug this because apparently this is being called. Wait, is it this? Save sauce? Okay, well that's... Why is... Hold on. Control... Shift... Oh, I guess it should be or. Maybe is that why? Okay, that's why. My bad. Alright, so test. Alright, cool. So save as or save. Okay, probably. Let's see if file path dot extension name to dot plan file name plus equal plan. I don't remember beginning at the file dot final dot. Okay, so dot plan. Okay. Fedor says, what's the music playing in the background? It's my own song that I made. I actually should switch it up because I've been listening to that for like an hour and a half. We'll go with this. El Sheep says, hello. Hi, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so this is working. Save test.plan, yeah. What's the name of the song? What was I listening to? I don't remember. I straight up don't recall. Shoot, man. I straight up don't remember. Alright, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to look, dude. I just straight up was not even listening. Give me a second. Okay. Let's see. Now I know what song it was, but I don't remember which file it was. Anyway, it's no longer. It's forget about the song. It's gone. I don't know which one it is. It's not available anywhere. It's not available, so you can't listen to it anywhere, unfortunately. I gotta get my stuff up online. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of I have a lot of songs online, but I still have a lot more that I play on stream that aren't online yet. So wait a little while, and maybe they'll all be up online at some point soon, hopefully. Save. Wait, wait. That plan. There's nothing here. Let's see. Why is it saying dot plan here? I don't. I'm not sure why dot plan is like down there. Let me just found it. L Sheep says, what GUI library are you using in Go? Yeah, it's SDL2. Go SDL2. File name dot plan. What? I think I must be making some kind of mistake. Yeah, okay, so testing something out dot plan. It must like end with a new line, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. File name. Dot confirm overwrite. Okay. Yeah, it must end with very good old friend fmg.println. Yeah. All right, let's not worry about this too much. So anyway, when we go to save the project, we're going to the card, we're serializing the card. We want to serialize the properties. Properties. Serialize. Okay. So then what we need to do or actually, let me think. Actually, yeah, we need to make this system work, this property system work. So there shouldn't be a label and there shouldn't be a checkbox for the checkbox contents. What we should do is do something like checkbox contents, or I guess we could just say card.properties.request property type label, right? We don't actually create a new label. We just say, basically, give me a label. El Sheep says, so the program works more like a game. Yeah. downside is it's a little bit hungrier on memory than like if you were doing this with a traditional GUI library. Upside is that it's very freeform. So you can like pan around at will, you can place things wherever you want, you can edit text easily and simply. You can resize stuff. So it's not maybe as like light on your CPU as something like you know, maybe doing this with like I can't think of the library I'm thinking of. I can't think of the name, but like, you know, there's different GUI libraries, you know, Qt, stuff like that. Those are fine, but I mean, like, if you want something that like does animation and stuff like that, it seems like doing it in SDL, GTK, yeah, GTK. Doing it in SDL or Raylib or with like, you know, Godot or GameMaker or whatever, would give you a nice ability to actually have things like panning and, you know, zooming, and it's a not three-dimensional, it is a two-dimensional space. So it's not maybe as like lightweight as something like, you know, a file manager, but it also is a little bit more, you can do more with it. In IMGUI, yeah, exactly. That's like for games too, though. So that is a good option for like making games with. Okay. Lucretia says Godot also has a low processor mode, which is better optimized for apps too. Oh, really? That's good. Kind of wonder if that would have been a good option to go with for this. I'm not really doing anything in particular right now. I'm just messing around with making some sort of like weapon, like a small hammer. That's kind of crazy that this could be kind of like a very simple drawing tool, actually. If you turned off the icons. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm losing energy here. Okay, so the general idea is basically we request a label. It will either give us one or it will make a new one for us. Which means that we don't actually have to create a label. Here, we can just do this instead. Something like that. Then we go to properties, we can say, instead of register, simply request. And we say basically blank. Well, let's do this a couple ways. So when we have this map, right, of properties, it's a map of strings, which is property type names, to the property. You might have multiple labels depending on the card, so it makes sense for this to be rather an array or a slice of properties. And so when you request it, we basically say, does it exist? Right? Let's see. And that is going to be data, property type. But if it doesn't exist, then we want to put it in there. Map. String to arrays of property. Wait. Map string. Yeah, why is this not? Can't. It's property. Data. Property type. Oh, no, it's just this. My bad. Okay. I'm trying to think about how best to do this, because basically we want to make a system where you can check in and check out properties at will, right? So you have a property or properties, list, and you say like, oh, I want to label. A card might use 2 or 3 labels on the card depending on what the label is. Maybe a label might not be editable, maybe. No, I guess it's kind of stupid, right? No, I guess this is fine. So a label might not be editable, or a label is editable. We edit it, we request it from the properties dictionary, essentially. And so after being requested, how do we? Like fundamentally, the problem that we're having here, or that I'm having here, is that after, we can't do this. After we request property, a piece of property, or a property. Oh, Fedor says he's gonna go. Okay, thank you very much for showing up. Really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Also, Lucretia says the Godot developers want people to make GUI apps with it. That's cool. Yeah, I hope that they are able to, I hope it works out, because I think that there is some cool stuff about Godot. There are some cool like features and things. Will I stream soon? I'm gonna probably be closing up shop in maybe 10 to 30 minutes. My mind is turning to mush. But I'll probably stream again next week. Probably next week, like Monday or Tuesday. Or no, maybe I think in my schedule I'm trying to aim for like end of week schedule, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those days. Monday through Wednesday is pretty heavy for me, so it makes more sense to push it toward the end. I'm thinking that because we're requesting properties, right? I guess this isn't that hard. I'm requesting properties. We put them in. Lucretia says game engines in general are the next step in more fluid app development. There's so much power with them. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that if you're making an app that you need just to be more of something, you can do it with game engines probably, compared to like not. I mean, like, rather than making it. I mean, there's room for both, but I feel like making it in a game engine is pretty solid, especially if you're making a native app. It might be a good idea. The problem that I'm kind of running into is basically when we go to actually request the property as a label, we don't. Let's just do it. Let's do it, and then we'll see what the problem is. I know what the problem is, but I can't fully follow my mind. Don says, I'm super curious what your occupation is at the moment. This is my occupation. I'm making MasterPlan. I'm streaming and all that stuff. For the moment. Let's see. Okay. Okay, we say new property. Prop type is going to be property type. We don't need the data. Actually, yeah. Say, okay, so what if we basically said we request a property? We name it something. Let's say we name it like editable label, right? Or we would just say label. I'm almost there, dude. My mind is almost there. It's like walking through the entire process. The end result is basically we have a property, we want it to be a label, or we can ask for it to be a label. And once we know that it's a label, then we can just, you know, do the things that we've been doing with it. And then transferring it from one task to another, or one card type to another, should work well. So let's just kind of move ahead. So we say, okay, we want a property. We just need a name for it. Pardon me. Okay, let me say as checkbox. It's not equal to nil, then we return it as a label, otherwise. I guess we could just do this. And so this is basically what we're doing. Okay, so as label, as checkbox. All right. So content, we say we request label as label. Okay. Request gives us a property. All right, property name, be a string if property. So now this could just be a string. Alright, it definitely took some time to get there, but I feel like it's kind of clarifying what I need to do and how I needed to do it. How I need to do it. Oh, I typed R. Second. Okay, cool. Alright. So when we go to contents, we're requesting the label, requesting a label as a label. And we could also do the same thing for a checkbox, right? Cool. Now when we go to actually like if we go to save this, we should basically be able to iterate through these properties, save them, and then that's it. That's the process. So we just say for blank property in range prop dot data. Now, we can't actually iterate through this like this because the order is going to be different every time because a map isn't defined. The map order isn't defined. So we're going to have to save basically a list of, we'll say order of definition. Is it going to be a string array like this? Order definition order. Probably be a better name, something like that. Okay, and then we just say basically prop.definition order equals append name. Okay, then we say for property in range prop.definition order equals there we go. Properties dot data property name. Yeah. All right. So now we say if property dot is label, else if property dot is checkbox. Okay. Is checkbox. Cool. Return a equals prop dot. Data dot. Does this count? Huh? Let's see. There we go. All right, so then we also do the same thing for a label. Is a label. Okay. So we say basically if it's a label, then we want to set data path. This will be label. And that will be property dot as label dot text. Can we get that as a string actually? There we go. Doesn't have as JSON, I believe. That's the issue. Oh yeah. Can't call non-function. Oh. The text is string. There we go. We don't need this anymore. This does exist, right? It does. Okay. Villas and not Antanas Leona Vicius. Oh my gosh, says, "Hey Solar, thanks for making MasterPlan. It's awesome. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to keep it going, keep it pushing." So this was a little bit of doing, but I think we are doing well. Can't use the R key because that restarts once again. Okay, everything seems to be fine. So this should basically serialize, and then we basically say the same thing, data. Also, wait, why did this? Let's check this. Checked. Data, okay, return data, cool. That's weird, I thought that it would have to say, like, I thought that it would have to go call go get. I never did that. Okay. No crashes or anything. Let's see. Serialize. So page is serializing. Go back to project where we're save. Let's see. Serialize. So data is blank. Data plus equal, and then fmt line data. So we can kind of see if it's actually working. All right, so save this. Test, new, save, .plan. Label, check false. Label, check false. Okay. All right. All right. I'm not sure the... Like that, it's cool that it's working, but my question is why? Oh, got it. Okay. No, well, yeah, okay. I got it. I got it. Because it starts off with a checkbox contents. So even the note is a checkbox, then it gets converted to a note, and our note isn't using either. Okay, I got it. I got it. So this is kind of a indicative of a problem that we're gonna run into. Let's say we have a note, right? So all it uses is an editable label. But if we switch it to or I guess the actual problem, if we have a checkbox and then we switch it to a editable note that just has a label and we save it, it should just save label. It shouldn't save the checkbox because the checkbox isn't being used. So how do we know which property is in use at any given time? Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to say basically properties. We're going to make a function that clears out the properties. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Does that make sense? No, wait. So you have a note, then you have a checkbox, then you switch it to a note. You save the game, it just saves. Yeah, we don't want to clear the properties. That goes against why we defined it in the first place. We just want to know which properties are currently being used. How do we know which ones are currently being used? Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna solve this as simply as possible. And that is basically anytime we switch content from one type to another, we're gonna turn off all of the properties. Yeah, that seems fine. So, and then when you request it, we'll do something like that. That should kind of do what we wanted to do. So when we change set contents, then we say basically for prop in range var.properties.data prop.inUse is equal to false, and then when we serialize, we just serialize the properties that are actually in use. Oh yeah, we have to actually serialize it. Serialize, we say for property if property.inUse. If it's not, then we continue, and that's it. Let's see. Label checked. So the notes are not being used. The note information. Oh, that's right. Because we haven't requested it. Okay, so this is, it's kind of working. It's working. It's just not working as like, I don't like how it's working. It feels like it might be a little buggy, but there's no bugs. It just feels like it's gonna be buggy. All right, properties dot request is going to be editable label dot as label, and then we can say like no, new note. Actually, we don't want to do this yet. I guess we'd say if note contents label. No, we don't want to do this. Yeah. Okay, so boom, boom. We save, test. So we have a label, that's this note, and then we have label and checked being false. If we save this, now checked is true. Now it's label something else, and now label is this. Fantastic. I would like it to cycle through in a consistent order. The page is, let's see, when we serialize, we're looking through the cards. All right, why is it? Oh, I see, because I clicked on it. That's why the order changed, right. All right, this is good. This is actually really good. So this is label, it's serializing, we're good. So now I went to copy. That's why we went through this entire process. Copying and pasting. Copying and pasting is going to be a heck of a thing because basically we need to deserialize. Well, I guess it's actually not that hard. We just basically need to make a system to deserialize. So we say we got the data. Let's assume it's in this basic format. Then we say for blank value in range data, or I guess gjson dot get data, or is it get? Yeah, data, and then the path is going to be 0. I'm not sure if I can just do .0 or just, I guess I'll just do this. Dot array, print line value. Okay. So when we, oh my gosh, this is this is crazy. So copying. Let's get there first. So copy cards is gonna be copy selected cards. We want open project. Okay. Define KB copy cards to be SDL.KB. Control C, Control V. SDL kmod control. Paste cards is going to be, oh, C and V. Okay. Copy. Paste. All right, then we go back to project. We say, oh, we want to, this is neutral state. If globals.program key bindings on KB copy cards, blank card range project dot current page. Oh, we'll just copy this. Okay, so for card, we don't want to loop through all the cards in the current page, but rather loop through the cards in the selection. And then we say globals.copy buffer equals append card, or copy buffer and then card. We also want to clear it before we get there. And we also want to say range. There we go. Then when we say paste, we say basically for card in range project dot current page. No. Globals copy buffer. The creature says gonna say play fetch with the dog now. See ya. All right. goodbye. Thank you very much for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. And I struggled. I struggled like heck for like an hour or 30 minutes or something like that. But hey, the end result is pretty solid. Oh yeah, I can just do this. I didn't even think about it. There we go. We could just do this even. Way better. So copy and then paste for card in range. We want to create a new card. Project current page, create new card, and then new card dot deserialize card dot serialize. That's kind of it, and we'll see if this works. So now when we go to deserialize in properties, we want to, well, firstly, when we go to deserialize here, that's pretty accurate. But we also want to we probably want to say properties. Should be here, something like that. Set JSON data properties. Okay, there we go. And then we also want to know other things about other information about the card, like the position, or I guess the rectangle. We also wish to know the content type. So I guess contents would be fine. So that would be contents. This won't work because this is a pointer to the contents. We want the actual name of the content, which we can do if we actually we'll just do it something like this. Set contents. Dot contents name equals content type. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's crazy, but I think it worked. I kind of. So let's actually, can we print out this information when we deserialize? So we have a rect of where it is, -224, 0, 192 by 128. It's a note, and the properties are label. Okay, so this is great. We have these like, slashes. We need this to be raw JSON because we're serializing it directly. So we want to set raw. That should do that. So copy paste. Now properties is correct, content type is correct, and the rectangle is correct. Now what we need to do when we go to properties, we need to deserialize. Or no, wait. When we deserialize, we basically want to say card dot. Okay, so rect first is going to be gjson.get data rect. And then we say basically float, or I guess it would be float. Okay, so card.rect.x equals this. Y width height. Okay, and then we have we need content type. String, okay. Set contents. All right, and then we wish to deserialize data. No, gjson.get data properties as a string. All right, so I think we are kind of there. Let's see. Okay. Yo, the other one went exactly where it should have. That's crazy. Okay. I keep typing R to restart. I forget. New task. So you select, you copy, you paste. It created 2. I'm not sure why. It's weird. Why does it create 2? Interesting. So the project, are we... Let me make sure it's not adding multiple things to the copy buffer, I guess. No, there's just one. Okay. All right, all right. Let's see, set contents. So we also want to say card.recreate. I don't really care. We can just set it to be, I guess, card.rect.w cards. There we go. Or can you just do this? All right. So I think it's working. I mean, I don't think it's working correctly, but yeah, it's not. Why is it creating multiple copies? Oh, it's in there 4 times. Why is it in there 4 times? Okay, I think I have to see, I'm not sure if it's not working correctly or if it is, and I just am not paying attention. No, I guess that's right. Okay. All right, so we'll leave this for now. So it's deserializing. We're serializing the card and then passing it into the new card. Really, this is not quite right, but that's fine for now. We deserialize data. Okay. In truth, we probably shouldn't be copying the card, like a reference to the card. We should be copying the serialized state of the card, so that you can, like, for example, copy the card, make a change, and then paste, and it will paste the version that you had before you made the copy. So we'll do that in a couple seconds. But when we're deserializing, let's see, probably deserialize. Okay, that's right. Recreate. Set contents. Okay, properties deserialize. Wait, am I... Data, get raw string is a JSON string. All right, I kind of assumed. I guess that was my bad. I guess I shouldn't assume. We'll just pass the data. We'll pass the data directly into the properties. Somehow this doesn't feel right. Let's see. Data properties string. Let's see, is this right? Yes. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. All right, so then we say basically for value in the array, we print out the value actually. Actually, it's a map. Key and value pair. We print out the key and value. Wait, label worked, didn't it? Weird. It wasn't working before. All right, so label, check false. Label. All right. So that should basically be enough to kind of reconstitute this. I mean, I guess we could. Oh, I guess we can. We can make this actually simpler. We can just say we set the, because the property has a. It does not have a. Okay. It does not have what I'm looking for. One idea is that basically instead of requesting a name, we request a type, and then we can go with that, right? So you can request, for example, where are we at? We can request, rather than a label, we can request a property type label like that, and it will give us one. But it still won't as label as checkbox. That way the property at least could know what it is before it even starts, right? I'm trying to think of the advantages of doing it this way as opposed to any other way. And I'm not certain there are any. Is there any advantages to doing this the way that... maybe. You know what? Let's not get hung up on the small stuff here. What I want to do is basically know if a property is a property before I even get in there. Also, I don't think this is working. printing out a lot of stuff, and I don't think it's actually... Yeah, I don't think it's actually printing out anything. Prints out label, but it's not printing the rest of it. Okay. So it is getting this. But it can't get anything actually out of it. I don't think 0 works here. Yeah, I'm not sure if... Could I say maybe dot 0? To get the first element? No. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that'll work. Let's see. Okay, so is there any way to get like the first entry? No. This is a proper JSON object. I just want to get basically label and label. Get parse. I guess that's what I want, maybe? Parse. So you don't have... They do different things? They do different things. Thank goodness. All right, so we can use parse. We can use parse here, and then we can basically say for key and value in the map. Then we have the key and the value pair, and then we can go ahead and kind of work our way up from there. So we have label and label. All right. Checked and checkbox checked. Okay, cool. So we say basically if key is equal to label, then properties dot request key, or no. Actually, we have to do this. Hold on. He's... All right, let's see how this might work. So name editable label. Label. Okay. Alter ego. Hey, Saloon. Hello. Welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by. I am working on kind of a lot at the moment, actually. So, what we're going to do, we're going to say, because this is a single, okay, so for, well, wait, no. No, yeah, this is for a single card. So we say for, no, we don't need to do that. We say parsed.get name prop equals parse.get name. No, these, it could have multiple properties, right? Name, label checked, false. Okay. Name, that's property. Am I getting lost in the sauce? Could it be that I am lost in the sauce? So we have the label property, we have a checkbox property, label, checked false. Alter Ego says live streaming programming takes courage. I guess I suppose you could say that. I don't really find it to be that much harder than. Well, I mean, it's not easy, but like it's hard, but I wouldn't say it's any harder than streaming in general. I think. Let's see. So. So we're requesting a label, we're requesting a checkbox. We're requesting a label, we're requesting a checkbox. Label property, checkbox property. Why is the label property not being saved? We have label. How are these both? Oh. I see. All right, I understand. I understand. I was struggling so much with that. All right, so what we want to do. What we want to do is basically make an object for. I guess we could just say the property needs to serialize, and we could just put that directly into, yeah, that makes it easier than trying to actually think about it. All right, so then we just say data equals JSON.set raw data. Name, and then so we don't actually need this part. and then property.serialize. Alter Ego says, well, programming is thinking, and when live streaming programming, you expose your thinking capabilities. It might not affect everyone, but there's potential for brain freeze from stage fright. I see what you mean. Yeah, I do think that like normally when I program, I like to get up and walk around to help like jog my thinking. I can't really do that when I'm live streaming, obviously, because you know, I would just be like away from my desk for like 5 minutes thinking every like hour, so or every 30 minutes, whatever it is. So it's not really realistic, but I see what you mean. Like there's definitely things that I would like to do to help me. What is this mechanic that makes it do this? Anyway, there's things that I would like to do that I can't do. Completely understand. Also, just being tired. Yeah, it takes brain power to stream. But I think we're like almost there. Like I think we're really close. Editable label. Okay. So we say basically parse.get or parse. Oh wait, let's try this with the checkbox. So there's two properties. Label property has this, checkbox property has that. Okay, exactly. Alter Ego says, I think your ability to program is a direct expression of your ability to think. It is intensive. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Don says, are you making a property system to allow you to attach multiple properties to the card type? Yeah, like the system itself works pretty fine. What I did this for was to copy and paste cards, because if you have a card and it says stuff on it and you want to copy it, you need to be able to paste it. Yeah, so that's it. Like rather than just like cloning, like baking the data directly into the card and then cloning it, by taking the properties and putting them in a kind of intermediary format, it's easier to deserialize and serialize, because it's just serializing and deserializing the properties, basically, apart from the card like position and scale and content type. Otherwise, everything's going to be on the properties. That just simplifies the process of actually like implementing elements. Hopefully. I'm hopefully we'll see if this actually works logically. But I think we're there. Let's see. So we parse it, we get the name, and then the name of the property and the what's within it. Name of the property and what's within it. So we basically say for blank. I guess we could just say parse dot for each. Yeah, give me a function. No, what's the boolean supposed to be? I guess return true. Yes, I don't know. Then we say basically properties.request key, and then the value is going to be what gets deserialized. Maybe raw? Is that what it is? Is he not a string? Oh, I guess I want it to be as a string. Okay, so deserialize. So can you print out the data, please? So label checked false. If data is equal to get parse get, get. All right, so this should kind of work. It's a lot, but I think it should work. I always forget I can't type R. Yo! Let's go. It's copying multiple times, and I'm not sure why, but let's go. It's actually working. Yeah, let's see. This is hype. Pog. Yeah, when you're tired, slowing down, programming slows down. Yeah, it feels like programming in a straight line for 2 hours is hard. I feel like thinking or talking isn't that bad, but programming is tough, especially when you're not like making progress. It seems like I always kind of like start off with like some pretty good energy, and then it slowly falls apart. Like if the task takes more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes on stream, it just, my productivity dies, dude. It's really hard to do. And props to anyone who can do it. What am I? Yeah, okay. I'm thinking that maybe a card is being selected multiple times. That seems fine. Let's see. Yeah, why is this? So the selection has a card in it multiple times. Let's see. I think that's what's going on. Let's see. Alter Ego says, it's a great feeling when you get the thing you're working on to work. It's kind of like a validation of your cognitive abilities. Yeah, it's fun to work on something and then you know, break through a problem. That's always fun. I just wish it happened more quickly than 2 hours. Let's see. So clicked and rect. Not add card. Okay, so we probably want to make it so that this only works if the card isn't already selected, I suppose. Which means that we probably don't want the card selection system to rely on an array, or a slice. It seems better to probably rely on it being a map, because a map of booleans is effectively a set. That way we don't have to double check stuff. So we can just do like, can we just do something like this? Then we don't have to really think about it too much. Adding it is just basically saying selection.cards, card true. Deleting it is just selection dot rather delete selection dot cards card. That's roughly it. Say for card. Globals.copy buffer equals card range current page cards. Oops. Globals.copy buffer equals pin. Oh, whoops. I mean, I guess we would do well to make a function that returns the cards as an array. That would be a list, slice. A slice. Let's do that. All right, then we can go back over here and then we can just say equals this slice. Then we can just say for current range. This would be better done like this. Slice. Yeah, and then delete card can take multiples and then we don't have to worry about it. Cards, this, let me just say append, cards, okay. Better. Slice better on selection. Card dot page dot selection. I thought for sure I did this another place in card. Did I not? Selection. Oh, okay. This, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. As long as you get there in the end, yeah. As long as I get there in the end. I always forget I can't type R. For let me type, please. All right, so let's go. Even better, and yeah, they are not linked, which is great. Even better is that we can now copy all of these, restart, and paste them in. Let's go. So you can go to different boards, you can go to different plans entirely and paste stuff, which is insane. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is pretty solid. Not perfect, but it's definitely getting there. style is looking crisp with a capital P. Capital P. I would like to implement some sort of snapping system so that it's just like super clicky. Yeah, this is solid. Yeah, this is solid, dude. Oh. Oof. Yeah. So what I was saying before, let me actually fix that as well. Might as well. But like, let's say you do something like this. I can't type for R. I can't. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's say you're doing something like this. Let's say you say second, right? And so you copy it. Then you go ahead and change it to be like third. Oh my gosh. I try to paste. It says third. It says it's going to be third. Z, copy. A, paste. It's A. Why? Because we're copying the task itself, the card itself. What we need to do instead is copy the serialized data from the card and then go from there. So the copy buffer should not actually have card. The card references. It should be strings. Yeah, so instead of copying this, we basically append in. We can actually start with this, and we say basically for card in range selection dot cards. We basically want to instead append in the serialized data. That was extremely poor. It's the serialized data of the cards. There we go. Then when we actually paste them, we want to make them, and for data, we just want to actually card data. There we go, and that's basically it. Now it should work, ideally. Label, copy, something, paste, label. Excellent. You know what? Instead of excellent, let's read extravagant. I can't type extravagant because I can't type an R. Fantastic. Copy. Powerful. Because we can't type an R. Paste. Fantastic. Resize. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so that it took quite a lot of time to get there, but it's there, and that's great. I'm going to make some sort of little thing. Don says, what's going on with R? I have R set up so that it restarts the program for debugging. It's just for debugging so that I can easily make a new project to, like, you know, get back in and re-diagnose issues and stuff like that. But because of that, I can't type the letter R. And I don't want to fix it because I'm lazy. So yeah, this is overall very, very cool. Here in the business, we call this very cool. I'm going to make a Roblox character because, like, that's what this immediately reminds me of. I know that this is awkward, but at the same time, it's also kind of awesome. No, what happened to his face? Oh, because it jumped to the front, that's right. Alright, this... this is so stupid. So stupid. Oh, oh no. Oh no. This man, he's like, what? Oh no. He's even more cursed than anticipated. Oh, let's give him suspenders. Because why not? Let's give him little suspenders. He's gonna hold on. This is so jank. It doesn't even work correctly. I myself have to like do stuff that it wasn't meant to do. Here is some suspenders. Let's get rid of the text. Let's put another, actually let's copy this and just put this over here. And then let's, this is so stupid. Yeah, he has to have buttons. Actually, this would be better with notes, but the notes are they're stuck to a minimum size that's too large. This is incredibly stupid, but at the same time, it's actually a little ridiculously cool. I don't know. It's something about this is like it's hitting all the right like points. I don't know. In answer to somebody's question about I know who I am, it's just being delayed, basically. I mean, like, the fact that this actually is, like, kind of artistically... let's just get a view into that. Let's look at this man. How do you think his day is going? Oh, it's not going so well. It was fine before, now it's horrible. But yeah, I know who I am is under development. It's not paused. It's not canceled, but it's been a long time since I worked on it. But I've been working on MasterPlan. I've been working on Door Jam. I'll be back to I know who I am. I might just restart it entirely. Not because I don't think that will be a Herculean effort, but because this remaking MasterPlan is a Herculean effort, and I think it's wholly worth it. If I were to restart I Know Who I Am, it would probably be with Go, and it would be, in my opinion, if I were to make the option, make the choice, it would be worth it. I don't know if it's worth it, but if I do think it's worth it, then I'll probably end up doing it. Otherwise, I'll just finish it in Godot. Nothing particularly wrong with Godot. I don't have any problems with it in terms of, you know, the stuff it allows you to do. I think it is useful, but I also think that I kind of would rather do it myself. I think it'd be a lot of fun. In any case, this man is... I don't know even what to make of this dude. Fantastic, he says. Fantastic. Let's center it. Fantastic. But yeah, I think that something about the stare, dude. Something about the stare is just like, it's so perfect. But yeah, I think that there's a lot I would like to do. I think, you know, MasterPlan is shaping up. I managed to get a lot done today. It's you know, slow, but at the same time, it's also fast because of, you know, the speed with which things are done. Like, it's slow in that it took 2 hours to get this, but the upside is that it's, you know, it's done. Like, you know, you can copy, you can paste, saving and loading should be relatively easy to implement now. We're basically there. Yeah, even with a couple of improvements over the previous version of MasterPlan, which is really what we want. To be able to copy things across boards, to be able to copy things basically as they were, rather than copying things, kind of copying tasks as they are. Yeah, this is solid. All right, well, I am going to save a screenshot of this at some point, but thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLoon. It's been fun. It's been real. Don also said, that reminds me of the Battletech Mech Manager that my dad wrote in Microsoft Access 97. Oh my gosh. Vilia says, any plans making it multi-user? Do you mean like collaboration? If so, yes. If you mean like multiple people using the application, like different users, not really. Oh, collaboration. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would like to do collaboration. Not sure if I'll be able to hit it in 0.8, this next update, because it's already massive to like recreate the program from scratch. But I do want to allow you to like collaborate with people. I think it would be a lot of fun and very cool to be able to, you know, have your plan open and have someone join your plan and, you know, watch their mouse cursor move around and, you know, have them add stuff to your plan and, you know, it being reflected on both sides and all that stuff. I think that there's a lot to be gained from collaboration. I just think that, you know, the primary target of MasterPlan is for individual usage, but you know, you have teams, you want to share plans, all that stuff, you definitely should be able to, and I plan to add collaboration. So yes, not sure when, hopefully not too long, but that is definitely coming down the pipeline. Or at least that's on the to-do list. But yeah, it's been fun, it's been real. Thank you very much for watching and for being patient with me. I really do appreciate the support and the encouragement from my community, people who purchase MasterPlan, people who even use it over other applications for project planning and for idea boards. Really do appreciate it, and I'll have to catch you guys on the flip side next time as I work on MasterPlan and work on other projects and get stuff done. So, all right, see you later, and yeah, you have a nice day.